beautiful flow with Chloe. And today I've got a bit of a tarot reading for you. I've pulled out the cards already just to save time with all the shuffling. Some of them flipped over, and so I know what some of them are. Some of them I'm not sure what they are yet. So we're going to go across the first column, then we go down in rows. So I'll just move that one out of the way. So first card, we have the castle. That beautiful pearl necklace on the castle. So this is about our structure, our home, our stability, our wealth, like what we have built in material gain, possibly generational as well. And where do, it's royalty as well. And who owns the castle? Usually the king and the queen and their descendants. So there may be something to do with power and ancestry or property there, or just strong material gain. On top of it, we get the devil. Little goat's feet are very on fire. And the Father of Pentacles. I love this version of the King of Pentacles. So there may be some sort of imbalance to do with material wealth or material gain. Maybe there's some sort of seduction or generational tie that is somehow toxic in some way. There may be some kind of like inherited toxicity. And the King of Pentacles is very much about the 3D, and he's the king of the sort of material wealth, being the pentacles. The pentacles are the material wealth within the tarot. Normally I really like the King of Pentacles, but with the devil on the castle, it's questionable. Might come back to that when we see what's down here. The Queen. Not the first time I've pulled the castle and then the Queen right after. And then on top of the Queen, we get the High Priestess. I'm just going to note as well, there is a full moon on that card. We've got a new moon on Friday in Cancer, which is very feminine energy, but it leads up to a Capricorn moon. The devil is a Capricorn card. We also have a Saturn retrograde at the moment, very big Saturnian energy. Saturn is ruled, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. And we've got that quite strong dominant masculine energy here, but then we've also got strong dominant female energy here. And then with the High Priestess on top, so I was going to say we've got a new moon, but it leads to our second full moon in Capricorn. We had one on the 21st of, around the 20th, 21st of June, and then this next one will be on the 21st of July. And it's this new moon resets us to be in the rhythm and the flow of the natural moon cycle, because we've been having a reverse cycle, which is why I've got two Capricorn moons. And I feel that this last one is going to be far more potent than the first one. And it's interesting that we've got all of this material gain type energy and strong earth type energy with, I mean, the Father of Pentacles is a strong dominant earth card, and the Pentacle suit says, and the Devil being Capricorn, strong earth energy. The High Priestess, yeah, on top of the Queen. So this is about intuition and what is reflected back at us, and knowing thyself. See, she has the crystal ball there. So maybe needing to use your intuition and embrace some feminine energy. Then we get the Crone. Wow. More very dominant female energy. Love the Crow on this. Crow obviously representing wisdom. And again, I get Saturn vibes with that. Because Saturn is about wisdom and karma. And it can be to do with learned lessons and, you know, the crone has worked her way through life. You have maiden mother crone. She's seen it all. She's learned all her lessons, so she is a very wise woman. But also Saturn can be, you know, related to like death as well. And generations. So that's very interesting. Because the crone reminds us, you know, of aging, and Saturn is, you know, to do with aging. It's very interesting. We have Saturn retrograde at the moment, and these cards are coming out that are very strongly Saturnian. On top of that, we get the Lovers and the Four of Wands. So there's a lot of fire and passion coming up here. The Wands are our fire suit. And the Lovers can be obviously a very passionate card. It can also be a choice though, with the Lovers. But with the two geese, you know, many birds sort of mate for life. And the Lovers is a Gemini card. So there may be something about duality here. There may be something about relationships. There may be something to do with two very strong male and female energies coming into connection and into balance, or the female and male energies within the self coming into balance, because the Four of Wands is also Venus in Aries, which is very passionate. It's also about balance. And things being in a sort of harmonious balance. Venus is always about harmony and balance. Then we get the self. This is the soul self. This is the spirit of the self. And on top of it, we get the Empress. So divine feminine energy. I love how on both cards we have that very glowing orb energy, and we have the new moon symbolized on this card. And as I said, we have a new moon in Cancer on the 5th. And I was saying about divine feminine energy as well. We also have Venus in Cancer at the moment. Lots of things in Cancer at the moment. I'm also noticing that within the centre of the self, there's a pearl, and the castle is penned in by pearls. Maybe we need to look past the material and into the riches within. Interesting. Some connection to self and the divine feminine is definitely needed. And I think that, you know, in Cancer season, we are in a very strong feminine energy. That full moon, that new moon, sorry, is really asking us to get into our feminine energy, I feel. We get the Queen of Fire. So I'm reading this going down from the castle. Interesting that we had the Queen here next to, and then we have the Queen of Fire below the castle. She's quite a diva. She can be. And she's not one to apologise or explain. She's quite, it's like Leo energy, very out there and extrovert. She is the sort of woman who would be flashing her best pearls as well. So it's interesting that that's come up under there. And we get a second Devil card. So we have the Devil twice in connection to the castle. Interesting. And on top of all of those, we get the Child. This is about this sort of energy, the inner self. We've got a lot of 3D self, and then on top, the curative is to go and check in with your child self. The joy, the innocence, and the purity of who you were and who you are truly, without all of the pressures and the hierarchical, societal construct that has been put upon you, and the path that has been laid for you generationally, and who you were told you should be. This is about casting that off and asking yourself who you are truly, not who everyone else expects you to be. Because something about trying to live up to some sort of generational or societal expectation is creating some sort of toxicity. And so underneath the Queen and the High Priestess, we get the 8 of Water. All the butterflies, massive transformation. And notice they seem to be looking at this kingdom across the shore. looking back at a kingdom they've walked away from? Has the Queen, do we need to check in with ourselves and cut off these, toxic ties and be true to ourselves and not what we're being told we should be, what we feel who we truly are inside? Is that Queen, has she walked away from her kingdom? Is there the need to step away and put space between? See the massive vacuous water in between, and she stands alone. And so to transform this, this like mask self that needs to be dropped, and all of this, structure, this facade of the material self, it needs to be dropped, needs to be walked away from. You need to put distance between it and emotionally tune in to your true self. Needs space, distance, and emotional processing to transform this situation here. Judgment. So we literally have a death on the card. See the woman lying, and then the spirit, the dead, rising from her. Again, massive transformation. Very scorpionic, fire and water, and rebirth, and things from the past. Putting to rest things from the past. And on top of that, we get the arrow. When the arrow comes up in the shaman cards, it's looking for you to look directly at one specific aspect of your life. It's pointing a direct arrow to the heart of the matter, cutting through it, pinpointing it. So we need to pinpoint something specific in our life that needs to be put to rest so that we can transform. And then below the crone, the lovers, and the Four of Wands, we have the Council of Monarchs. So this is the Justice card. Interesting as well, I didn't mention that the arrow is pointing directly up at the Queen. And the High Priestess. And we've got a new moon on the High Priestess on top of the full moon. These moons, this new moon cycle is a reset. You're being asked to reset. And you need to pinpoint what it is in your life that needs a reset. On top of, we'll save that one. On top, below the Council of Monarchs is the Fool. So something needs to come to justice, something needs to balance out for us to get out a new beginning, for us to get our honey, for us to blossom. So you may need to, I was talking about there being duality as well, with the two swans, and there needing to be balance on the Four of Wands, and then to have justice and, you know, the council bringing things into balance. It's just confirmation, and that is what will set about the new cycle. This cycle is pinpointing what you need to leave behind and what needs to be released and transformed. Will set about balancing out your life for a new beginning. On top of it, we have the giveaway. So the Justice card is a very Libran card as well, which is, you know, the scales, weighing things up, about balance. Two different ways, two different weights that need to come into balance. And the giveaway is about balancing your energy. It's about give and take, and how much of ourselves are we giving to others, how much are we giving away without receiving in a balanced way, and again, are we in reciprocity without being grateful? So that's something to think about. And then with the Empress and the Self, we get the Queen of Air, another quite Libran card and Gemini card, as it's Queen of the Air signs. She's no nonsense. She has clarity. You know, she has mastered the sword, but she does not feel the need to wield it unruly. She is often depicted as very calm, very serene, with the sword in the sheath, not needing to use the sword. She has, you know, power. She cuts through things with her mental clarity, and, you know, the High Priestess, mental clarity again. She doesn't need to be aggressive in her cutting through physically with the sword. She just is of a clear mind. She's no nonsense, and she doesn't suffer fools. Interesting that's come after the Fool in a way as well. And, oh, not this one yet. That's last. Then we have the Ten of Fire and the Elder of Water. So the Ten of Fire is about burdens, perceived burdens, not being able to carry the weight of the burden anymore. I mean, how long can you really crawl through hell with burning torches on your back, you know? So again, a need to release, and who better to do that than the Queen who cuts through the BS? Who better to release us from past burdens than her? And then we get the Elder of Water. So this would be like the King of Cups in many tarot decks. And so we again have some water energy. We have the water energy over here with the Eight of Water and the Walking Away. And the Elder of Water is someone who has, you know, acquired emotional mastery and is emotionally balanced. Going a little too far can be, you know, potentially a detachment there. There can be an emotional detachment with the Queen of Air as well, and the King of Water, King of Cups. He can be quite emotionally detached at times also, but not in a cruel way, in a necessary way, in a way that one has just mastered their emotions, and they know not to lose control of them, because it's not going to get them anywhere. There's someone who's had to move through life learning a lot about emotions, and been in emotionally testing situations to the point where they've transcended being overly emotional. And it's interesting that we've got this underneath the Empress, who is this very patient and emotionally abundant character, but she's balanced. She knows her worth. The Queen and the King, they know their worth, and so they're very balanced in their approach. They've lived a life and they've not got to where they are in life without challenges that they've learned from. There's wisdom, massive wisdom. That's what I'm trying to get to. Wisdom, again, going back to this crow on the card up here. Where is he on the crone? Wisdom. And on top we get the medicine wheel, and that's really funny that we get that on top there with the Self, because this is about the lessons. It's about the different stages that have had to be overcome by the shaman on their journey of spiritual ascension to become a shaman, and, you know, rise from the ego, from the constructed ego, which is where we started, to become a spiritual being who knows their self truly, who is balanced, who is a master of their self. So yeah, on it we have the 4 animals, the 4 stages: the hummingbird, the eagle, the snake, and looks like a leopard on there. Could be a cheetah. So it's about a state of ascension. It's about the natural order, the wheel, the cycle. It's interesting that we have the crone, who is, you know, like they've been the child, they've been the mother and the maiden, that now they are the crone, they're like the chief energy there. There's an ascension there, and there's an ascension here. We've got so many queens and kings, and, you know, councils, and you know, stepping into power. But do we want the power to be, you know, a spiritually balanced power, or do we want it to be some kind of maniacal, grabbing, grasping person who is fueled by material gain? That's what I'm getting here. Like, we want spiritual wisdom and ascension. And again, that's quite Saturnian, you know, the order, the cycles of life, you know, the karmic wheel, life cycles, aging, and wisdom gained through aging and learning by hard lessons. It's quite a coming of age, this reading, isn't it? And then our final card is lightning. When lightning strikes, a clear message from the divine. When lightning strikes, it shatters down from the heavens, and it can be seen for miles. So quite like the tower, a message, a clear message from the divine. It's interesting that we've got the arrow as well, a clear message, a wake up. Something that will scorch the earth, that all will see. Undeniable. A eureka moment. A spiritual awakening, very possibly. I am going to pull a couple more cards live. Well, it's recorded, but you know, on the camera, because I pre-pulled all of these. So we're going to ask the dragons. And then I'll ask for everyday. That one flipped itself over. The golden crested dragon. Brings you higher love so that you can embody the Christ light. Interesting that we just had the lightning, and I was saying, you know, a message from the heavens. So whether, you know, you are religious and you believe in Christ, this is about just divine power, whatever you see the divine power as. It does not have to be a specific Godhead, but just the energy of, you know, the creator, the source, the universe. Absorb the Christ light, you are protected. Expand your heart and remain fifth dimensional. So there's so much about, you know, connecting to spirit and connecting to the true self. You know, in the Bhagavad Gita, in yoga, the philosophy is that we are the universe resides in us, and we are part of it, and we're all connected, and all of us are part of the universe, and the universe is within us. And so when it's got the self here, and this sort of soul searching, and, you know, coming back to your true self, your true sense of self, I feel we're having an awakening about our true self. I'm not going to pull another one from those. I'm going to pull one from the everyday witch. There's massive spiritual ascension happening here. Oh, that one. Joy and delight. I love this one. Just happiness. Just sheer happiness. Cartwheeling with delight. And you know, when we do become truly awakened, it is said that the small stuff, we won't sweat the small stuff anymore, you know, and that's true happiness. So, some sort of liberation in letting go of the material construct self and embracing your soul energy and embracing the universal energy and the connectedness of everything. So that's quite a big reading there. Yeah. So I hope you enjoy. Enjoy.